This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
We are coming to you with some breaking news that Henry Ruggs, during a status check today, his legal team has announced that he will be waiving his right to a preliminary trial and is planning to plead guilty in district court on May 10th to one felony count of DUI resulting in death and one count of a misdemeanor of a vehicular manslaughter. We are being joined by our legal experts, Chip Siegel and Thomas Moscow. Tom, what is your reaction to this news right now?
I'm a little surprised. I expected this to delay, but now that I've seen what deal is in place, I'm not really surprised that he waived up.
So let's go into the deal. As far as you've seen, break down the deal to us.
In the business, we call this plead guilty to a DUI death, stip 3 to 10. And what that means is the parties are agreeing to a certain prison sentence, which is 3 to 10 years. It's a 10-year prison sentence, eligible for parole after 3. So it's the bottom number that's important, and it's a pretty good deal for Ruggs.
So from outside looking in, I think a lot of people are wondering who's walking out taller of this deal. Who's walking out of this with a smirk on their face?
I don't think anybody is. As I said, well, certainly I would say Mr. Ruggs' legal team. They did a fantastic job. They did an absolute fantastic job, given the issues they were facing in front of them, to have found the key issue and to keep pressing that issue and moving forward. They did yeoman's work. They did fantastic work on this case. From the district attorney's office, you know, they were given a plate that of some bad food, for lack of a better word. I don't want to say what I'm really thinking, and it wasn't their fault. I mean, that's the thing. You're a district attorney, you're a prosecutor. There was an expression, hey, I don't paint the cards, I just play the cards. And so ultimately, as somebody who was a prosecutor, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm sure they went over this with the family and said, hey, we have these potential legal issues. We might be able to get it through the preliminary hearing, might be able to get through trial, but ultimately a reviewing judge, whether that be in the state of Nevada, at the Court of Appeals level, at the Supreme Court, or then ultimately, I'm sure they federalized the issue and is going to get in federal court, somebody's going to take a look at that search warrant and say, this is not a good search warrant. And then the whole thing just falls apart. So I understand both sides just had to deal with what they had in front of them. From the defense side, they did a fantastic job. And for the district attorney's office, sometimes you just got to do what you have to do and not like it.
When we look at what's on the cutting room floor, one legal firearm charge and the injuries to Kiara Kilgo Washington, Ruggs' girlfriend, who was in the car with him the day of the crash. You know, some of these charges are on the cutting room floor that did not make the cut. I wonder if that's coming as a surprise to you that there was now more added on there from what we originally saw from the charge list.
No, not at all. I mean, look, in these cases, you charge a bunch of different crimes. In DUI, you're charging the reckless driving and the DUI, but you're really chasing the top charge. That's in all prosecutions. You're prosecuting somebody for first-degree murder. You might have some robbery charges added in there, but you're really chasing that top charge. So you secure a plea to the one crime you need them to plead to that gives you the prison exposure, and you dismiss everything else. I'm actually surprised to see the vehicular manslaughter even still included in this. It really doesn't make sense to me why you would even have that coupled in. Normally, if you have a misdemeanor included in, it would have been like the reckless driving charge. So, Judge, he's pleading DUI death, but look, he's also saying that he was recklessly driving. Take that into consideration as sentencing. But this really doesn't make sense to me.
I think today's a reminder for some of us that we do not have a crystal ball, that we're not able to see into the future. I don't think many people saw this coming, as you've said that you're surprised, but let's look up to May 10th, the district court date for when Ruggs will be reappearing for this guilty plea. What are we expecting to see, do you think?
They're going to come into court, and either he's going to go ahead and plead guilty that day to this deal. It's a deal that he should take. If I was his attorney, I'd be advising him heavily to take this. Like I said, this is the minimum at best you would ever see in a DUI death case out of any judge in that courthouse. So to secure that, he's definitely going to do it. The only delay would be if they need more time to talk to him about the guilty plea, but it looks like he's pretty well informed that this is what he wants to do, and he would be a fool to back out of a deal like this.
Well, this is an interesting deal. We'll be following it as it continues, but for the time being, thank you so much for being available, and we'll definitely be getting back in touch with you on May 10th for the district court date.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.